Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Bearish or Bullish. I'm Julie Alexandria here with JC Peretz. JC, you guys were all about financials and industrials and transportation, and now all of a sudden you guys are shorting them. Bearish or bullish?
Well, I'm short-term bearish all of those. Remember, we were just like buy all the banks. They were breaking out to new highs. That was part of the small cap story that was also working by the industrials, by the transportation indexes. Those were all the rotation into value that we really saw get going after Labor Day of last year, 2020. So this narrative, this trend, particularly in the short term, has gotten a little long in the tooth, not to mention that our upside targets have been met in industrials, in transports, in financials. So you feed the ducks, and I think you take the other side. If you want to put on a bearish bet, you have the risk levels because we only want to be short if we're below last month's lows. Me personally, I'd rather be in cash, short some of the tech stocks on this bounce, and look to rebuy those industrials and financials if the market really gets under pressure this summer, and we're positioned for that. So we're hoping it does.
Okay, some of the dirtiest companies absolutely ripping. Some of the clean energies are struggling. Bearish or bullish?
I think bigger picture, that dirty energy theme continues, right? These clean energy, growthy sort of names. I think that's an old story. I think people are going to stick to that, and I think they're going to get hurt in a similar way to all the people that have been buying energy, old dirty energy, for so long. That has been a terrible idea, and they were penalized, and I think the script has flipped. I think you want to be in dirty energy, not in clean energy. You see it in different countries with that exposure around the world outperforming. You're seeing the energy stocks continuing to outperform. So on any severe market weakness that we get this summer, and I think we do, that's certainly how we're positioned, I think energy's got to be one of those places that we're looking to buy on that weakness.
Okay, something you wrote about this week on allstarcharts.com. Let's talk about the U.S. dollar continuing to show weakness currently and for this foreseeable future. Bearish or bullish, and for how long?
Bigger picture, I think you have to be bearish of the U.S. dollar. Just so toppy. The Straza said it the other day, because you know how the dollar crosses. Sometimes the dollar is on the numerator, sometimes it's on the denominator. And he's like, whenever the dollar's as the numerator, it looks very toppy. Well, when it's a denominator, it looks very bottomy. Like you look like euro and pound and emerging markets, they look like bottoms. And then when you look at dollar CAD, it looks like a major top. You look at the dollar index, same thing. Dollar Swissy, take a look at that. So for me, I think bigger picture, we want to be short the dollar. But if we do get that pressure in stocks this summer, which again is how we're positioned currently, I think the dollar probably gets that defensive bid as money flows into that safe haven. And at the same time that we're buying value and energy and industrials and financials upon that weakness, I also think you're fading dollars on that. But so short term, dollar bullish, bigger picture, dollar bearish. How's that?
Split the difference. Sounds good. Now, we hear big names in big pharma like Pfizer and Moderna, especially in regards to the COVID vaccines, making a lot of news lately, and of course for the past year. But now there seems to be a brand new fighter entering the ring, and that is drug company Merck, ticker symbol MRK. They just struck a deal to supply a brand new oral treatment for COVID-19 called Molnu, stick with me, Molnupiravir. Bearish or bullish?
In the short term, it's a mess. Like a lot of things in this market, very messy. Bigger picture, for me to get constructive on this, we have to complete this 20-year base. And remember, where Merck stopped going up is where it peaked in 2000. So it's just been in this mess. So short term, I think it's range bound. Maybe we're at the lower end of the range and maybe we go to the upper end, like maybe into the 80s or low 90s. That's certainly a possibility, but that's a tough game to play in that mess. It's not for me. I would rather pay more on a breakout above those highs from 20 years ago. So I'd rather, instead of buying low and selling high, which is not how things work, I'd rather buy higher and sell even higher. That's how I look at Merck.
Okay. Well, here's hoping they make some good news, hopefully soon.
Sure.
Okay.
And if they break down, we'll short it. So that's okay too.
Well, of course. You win either way. Something you tweeted about that got my attention, the Fine Wine 100. So, of course, my ears perked up. But seeing it reach its peak, back in June 2011, 10 years later, seeing relative strength in vintages. Do tell. It makes me happy. Bearish or bullish?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's kind of like we don't make any real decisions based on this data, but we look at all these charts, and as a sommelier, like, I found my way to this particular data set. It's called LiveX, and they provide all the pricing data on wine and different, like the wine index would be like the S&P 500, and then you have different sectors. So like vintage champagne would be like, the technology, and maybe Burgundy would be financials. Like, so there's different segments within the wine index, and you're seeing relative strength in champagne, vintage champagne, both white and rosé.
I can't imagine a better chart more fitted for you personally, JC Peretz.
Hey, these sorts of things find me. Like, I didn't go out of my way looking for wine data, but it finds me. What can I tell you?
But there it is, vintage and brioche as ever. Okay, let's talk about crypto for a minute, because messy markets still going on for crypto right now. Bearish or bullish?
I'm bullish the messy market, because I think the messy market is here to stay for some time. I think that's where it really gets lost, because people are like, oh, what coin do I buy? Or, oh, is this all over? Yeah. There are different environments in crypto in the same way that there are different environments in the stock market or interest rates or commodities or currencies, right? They all have their cycles, and they were trending up, most of these cryptocurrencies, for quite some time. And now they're not trending up. They're trending mostly in ranges, in messy ranges. And what do we know about messy ranges? If you've been paying attention to the stock market this year, Exhibit A, if you have been participating in the U.S. stock market like it was still trending like it was before, you're getting chopped up. But if you have been aware that we're in a sideways messy range, like we've been preaching for months, then you can develop strategies to take advantage of that particular market, whether it be in the options market, where you can, collect premium, or perhaps raise cash if you're more of a trend follower, whatever it is that you need to do, but to take advantage of the market that we're in, right? Play the cards that were dealt, not the cards that you wish you had. And we see a lot of investors who wish they had last year's cards, because those are the hands that they think they're playing. And in crypto, it's the same thing, right? We had trending markets, and now this is a trendless market. There is no real trend, and that is trend recognition in and of itself, that there is no trend. You go chart by chart, and we do, obviously, of all of the cryptos, and what's the common theme? JC, they're all a mess. I'm like, I know. Anything else stand out? Yeah, a little bit of relative strength here and there, but mostly just a bunch of messes.
A bunch of messes, because they're also very emotional investors. Who's a bigger emotional investor, the golds or the Bitcoiners?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that they're all pretty crazy. Listen, we're humans, we're all crazy, but I think those two groups are crazier than most. They both think that they're, I'm just generalizing here. They both think that they're smarter than other people, right? Both the gold bugs and the crypto crazies. I love the fact that I don't know shit about any of that stuff. Like, I don't know the first thing about mining for gold. I can name you 3 countries maybe where they do that. Like, I don't know anything, but I can draw that chart of gold for you going back hundreds of years. And same thing with the crypto. Like, yeah, I'm learning a little bit here and there. And obviously I've hung out with enough gold bugs over the years, particularly in Vancouver, that I've learned a couple of things, a couple of little tricks about precious metals. But the truth is, I know nothing about either on a relative basis. And that just makes me feel so good, because I know that I don't know anything. So we just trust price, because that's where the wisdom is. So this is just a beautiful example of, I'm happy to not know a damn thing. I like to learn. So if you have any information you want to send my way, I'm happy to learn more. But I don't really give a damn when it comes to making buy and sell decisions.
I feel like you are a living, breathing meme of someone sleeping peacefully, and it's like, says, this is how I sleep, knowing that I don't care about gold and Bitcoin.
I don't care about who wins, gold or Bitcoin. I don't care if it's dirty energy or clean energy. I don't care if we're buying financials or shorting technology. Like, I'm too old for this shit. Like, I don't care. Like, we just want to be buying things that are going up and selling the ones going down.
I understand completely. It makes perfect sense. All right, let's go back to your days in the minors, you know, working in baseball. MLB is cracking down on sticky substances for their pitchers. Garrett Cole had a very meaningful post-game press conference where he kind of ran himself in circles. Bearish or bullish, MLB cracking down, getting the sunscreen and the spider tack out of the pitcher's hands.
Listen, they want home runs. They don't want all these no-hitters and like 1-0 games. Like they want to put up points, you know, runs in this case, but like just in general, the audience wants to see goals and home runs and points, and you know, it's exciting, right? So I love a pitcher's duel personally. Like for me, it's the best. Give me a 1-0 ball game that's 0-0 going into the ninth. Somebody hits a double with a man on first to win the game at the end. Everybody celebrates, goes drink some beers. Like, now that's a Sunday afternoon. You feel me? Not this like 9-7 or, you know, 13-11.
Video game numbers. I mean, people say make baseball fun again. Let the kids play.
People just aren't smart enough. That's the problem, Julie. People aren't smart enough to keep up with everything that's going on. Like, they are bored. They think it's boring, but that's because it's going way over their head. They don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
It's true. Baseball is a thinking man and woman's game. Okay, it's my 3rd anniversary, JC. What should I drink?
Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So happy 3rd anniversary. So what should you drink? Like if it was me, like I'm you and I'm celebrating my 3rd anniversary, you know, listen, I think you open up some champagne, right? Take advantage because the trend and prices are higher. So the longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to be, apparently. So get some nice vintage champagne. Get something to eat that'll be nice with that. Maybe a little bit of caviar with some chips and maybe a little creme fraiche. That'll be nice. And then I just dive right in. You know, you can maybe convince me to have a glass of Pinot Noir before I dive in, or you could just open up that Brunello and get yourself a nice Italian meal. You know, have a little side of spaghetti, maybe like, I don't know. Like you could go so many different directions, but make sure it's meaty and make sure maybe there's some sauce to go with that acid of the Brunello. And then I would personally finish with the Sauternes from, you know, the south of Bordeaux. It'll be lovely. Late harvest, some botrytis. You pay extra for the botrytis. And you're going to have a key lime pie with that. But it has to be from the Keys. Otherwise, don't eat it. Send it back.
Spoken like a true Floridian. I love this journey for myself. Thank you. All right, for all of this and so much more, be sure to check out allstarcharts.com. JC, thank you so much.
Would you add a salad? Maybe like a salad with like a Sauvignon Blanc, or maybe with the champs, maybe?
Salads are so unromantic to eat that, like, I don't know that I would throw that in the mix.
It's your 3rd anniversary. Eat the damn salad. Plus, salads are delicious.
It's true. I mean, it's our 3rd anniversary. Where's he going?